Dang, I've heard many stories we all have about how sport can help social development, can take young people out of troubled situations and give them a better life. And I said I was going to ask you this question. It's about how China develops its champions. There are many people outside of China that believe it's a heartless process, that it's essentially manufactured in a kind of factory type of way. First of all, would you think that is a fair assessment? And anyway, even if it was a fair assessment, is there anything wrong with that as far as China is concerned?
That's a really tough question.
Thank you.
What do you think that the manufacturing produce the athletes from China?
Taking maybe a 6-year-old, taking them to a table tennis academy, teaching them all the techniques. I could go on for ages. You know the way in table tennis you get an opponent who's your sparring partner to emulate the style that you will encounter when you go to the competition. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can tell you that I started earlier than 6. I started when I was 5, and because my father was my coach. And when I was about 10 years old, I won most of the champions around the provincial competitions. But for my experience, that the older coaches, which is rejected me because they think I won't be good in the future because I'm too short. So what to believe that? And I have to show I have the capability be one of the best athletes in the world in table tennis. So I have to keep my dream, because when I was young, I had a dream to become world champion and Olympic champion as well. But I have to show that I have the twice as hardest as others for the training. And finally, for the national team coaches, discussed about me for these 3 times. And what is the last meeting they had? The head coach said, because you think Deng Yaoping is too short, this is a disadvantage for her. And I have a different way to see, because of she is too short. She can see the ball always higher. So can talk all the time without any defense. So is everybody play table tennis? No reaction. Yes,
oh, yeah.
So what do you understand? Because sometimes we have to see different way. I think one thing always have 2 sides. Depends on what side you look at it. So that is for normal people. They think higher you can cover better for the table. But for me, for the table tennis, the more important is the speed and the talking. So I have that, and also have the talent to show I'm so quick and so strong for the talking. So this is a little my story until I won the first champion at age of 16 years old, and started my dominating for the world table tennis for 8 years. So won 18 world titles. But I want to say that you have be confident, be trust yourself, and training harder, obviously. And also I meet so many good people and the coaches to helping, even the teammates to help me. So I think the training, everybody the same for the world athletes. Even you can ask Lord Cole. We have a training extremely hard. Otherwise, you can't become the world champions. So I think not only for China, everyone the same.
Okay, we are actually out of time, but Seb, you want to say something?
Well, I was just smiling when I heard the question and then the answer, because I remember in my early teens finishing a training session at the side of a municipal track in the city that I was brought up in Sheffield. And my father was my coach, and 5 coaches came out of the clubhouse and started to remonstrate with him and said, this training is too hard, it's heartless, and being a good engineer that always sort of lived by the rule, why use one word when none will do? He actually on that occasion used 2 words, and they flew back into the clubhouse, and thank goodness he did, because There is no way around that. If you are going to be world class, if you are going to do what my fellow athletes up here have done, there are no shortcuts. It's a long, hard road, and some of those physical literacies that you need to have in place for an athlete to be able to explore their own potential needs to be put in place in some sports very much earlier than in others. So it's very easy to sort of look at a system and say, well, they're all 6 years old. Well, the reality of it is that a child in gymnastics start losing flexibility from the age of 3.5. So there are things that you are going to need to do at that age in order to set them on the path to international gymnastics. The broader point I would make is I've never yet ever met anybody at the highest level of sport that hasn't been passionately engaged and enjoyed every minute of what they've done. That's not to say the results always come your way, but you can't keep people involved in sport unless they really want to do it.
Okay, we've gone over.